and welcome to the Children's Museum of Cleveland. I'm Miss Kelsey, and I'm here today to show you some STEM that you could do at home. So today I have a quick science experiment that uses a few things that you might be able to find in your kitchen with an adult's help. So our first thing is just some regular water from the sink. Our second thing is a few different colors of food dye. Our third thing was several different jars, including an empty one. And our fourth thing was some sugar. This is just regular sugar. You might use it in making cookies, and it's in most of our houses. So what we're going to be doing with these materials is a density experiment. Now, density is a scientific term that is measuring an object's mass over an object's volume. So an object's mass is how much matter it has. So to take a look at mass, we need to know what matter is. So there are three forms of matter that we find commonly on our Earth. And that type of matter is a solid, a liquid, and a gas. And one object that you might be very familiar with is water, just like we have here in our cup. So this is water in its liquid form. Water can also be a solid. If you've ever had an ice cube, that is water in a solid form. And finally, if you've ever helped your adult friend cook something with water and you've seen steam come out of the pan, that steam is water as a gas. So three forms of matter are solids, liquids, and gases. In today's experiment, our matter that we'll be measuring the mass of is our liquid water and also our solid sugar. So to set up this experiment, we want to see how density affects the layers of water in this jar. So we start off with the same amount of water. Every jar got about a fourth cup of water. That's important in science when you're doing experiments. You want to make sure you have everything the same except for one variable. Our variable today is our sugar. So this is a fancy way to write sugar, C6H12O6, but that just means the same sugar you find at home. So to our red water, we added 20 tablespoons of sugar. To our blue water, we added 10 tablespoons of sugar. And to our green water, we did not add any sugar. So the green water is called our control. There's nothing different about it, it's just water. Our blue water has 10 tablespoons of sugar. We help give it a good stir to help it dissolve and mix together. And our red water has the most sugar, our 20 tablespoons. We had to stir this one a lot and it feels very thick. So, once you've poured your water into your jars, once you've added your colors, once you've added your sugar, before you pour it all together, you need to make a hypothesis. A hypothesis is a fancy way of saying you need to predict or guess what's going to happen. So we know our red water has the most sugar. We know our green water has no sugar. And a density is how much matter or how much of the solid sugar is in each cup. I think the color with the most sugar is going to go to the bottom, and the color with the least amount of sugar is going to float to the top. So that's my hypothesis. Red will be at the bottom, blue will be in the middle, and green will be at the top. So in just a minute, friends, we're going to pour these in. Like all good science experiments, sometimes they take time. So we're going to pour these in, and we might not be able to see the separation right away. We're going to wait a few minutes and see how the colors change. Okay, friends, so I have my empty jar and those three sugar solutions. I'm going to give my red one, the one with the most sugar, one last good stir. You can see it's already kind of thick or very viscous because it mixed all that sugar in. I'm going to pour it into my jar. Next, I'm going to add my blue water. This one has 10 tablespoons of sugar, so half the amount of the red. And my prediction is that this color will end up in the middle of the jar. You can already see on this side how the blue is still staying closer to the top, although it mixed a little bit in the middle. And then finally, I'm gonna add my green or my control, which I expect to stay at the top of the jar because it's the least dense. So now, friends, we're gonna let this sit for a few minutes, and then we'll come back and see how our layers turned out. Okay, everybody, so we've let a little bit of time pass, and we can see that our colors have begun to settle. Now, I got a flashlight out because it's a little bit hard to see the colors on the camera, but if you're in person, you can definitely see the separation. So our red, or our color with the most sugar, has fallen toward the bottom. Our blue, or our color with half the amount of sugar of red, is in the middle. And our green, or our control group with no sugar, is at the top. So just like our hypothesis predicted, red is at the bottom, is the most dense. Green at the top is the least dense. So friends at home, I hope you enjoyed our quick density lesson. Again, with your adult's permission, you can easily recreate this at home with some water, some food coloring, and some sugar. And you can even try more colors with more different amounts of sugar. From the Children's Museum of Cleveland, we hope you enjoyed this STEM lesson, and we'll see you next time.
For more programming like this, see cmcleveland.org.